let's do it. Let's start recording in 3, 2, 1. Okay, I start.
And that's how we're going to start. Welcome to Free Environment, el podcast. Arion Sonorio here. I'm going to be with you for a few minutes. This podcast will help you to unplug for a few moments from that universe of content consumption of information. Sometimes necessary and sometimes not. I believe that each person has something unique to give. That uniqueness that we carry within us is what I want to invite to a free environment. Free of stereotypes, free of prejudice. So, enough of introductions, and let's listen to what we got for today. Like 5 years ago, I had this question in my head. If this is all. Go to work, go home, plan something for the weekend, and then the same thing. Work, home, plan something for the weekend, and then the same thing over and over again. And I was wondering, what's the meaning of all this? Or the purpose? I don't know. Then I started to rationalize the question, saying that there is no need to complain. I have health. I have a family and friends that love me. I work in my profession. And I'm just starting my 20s. Stop asking weird questions and keep dancing the rhythm of life or whatever. And then I went on with my day. Although now with that question stuck in my head. Things haven't changed much because the question is still there. However, now with some answers to this question. Do not think that I come up with the answer. No. I have simply put in practice some things that I've learned along the way from people who have spent a lot of time studying and talking about topics like this, and people close to me who have helped me to understand this a little bit better. For example, Gary Larson, an American cartoonist, creator of one of the most famous comic strips in the United States on the 70s. The name is The Far Side. He put in one of it the progressive line of evolution of humans from an amoeba. In the drawing, Gary Larson put to each creature a bubble above with the text, meaning that it's saying something, assuming that you know how comic strips works. And starting with the amoeba, it says eat, sleep, and reproduce. And continues with the fish, eat, sleep, and reproduce. And then the one that follows, eat, sleep, and reproduce. And it goes on and on and on. And all of them says eat, sleep, and reproduce. Until it gets to the human, where it says, what's the meaning of life? This is a joke that is trying to tell us how we overcomplicate things. I'm going to dare to say this. The only thing that is true on Gary Larson drawings is that everyone has asked this question or will be asked at some point in their life. What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose? Or if you want to add what is the meaning of my life? What is my purpose? But there is a part in this of meaning or purpose of life that I want to make clear before continuing. And that is that based on my system of moral and personal values, I know what my purpose is helping people to live an intentional life aligning with God's principle. Simple. And in the words of the journalist and author of the book, The Power of Meaning, Emily Esfahani Smith, she says, the matter of how to live, after all, requires a discussion of abstract, personal, and moral values. As simple as it sounds. And when it comes to moral, and I won't talk about that today, but whether we like it or not, there is a moral system out there, social, cultural, and even universal, that neither of us can go against it. But in terms of personal values, your way of seeing life may be very different from mine. And because of what you are passionate about, what you understand that give you meaning and purpose to your life, may be very different from mine. But they are unique, and they are just as important and necessary as mine. I don't know if you have heard the word ikigai. And if not, let me summarize, or let me try to summarize in 1 minute or so. Ikigai is not a word that I invented or anything like that. That word is Japanese. Translated into our language, this means reasons for living. I came across with this word when I was learning about centenarians, people who live 100 years or more. Learning about their lifestyle, what they eat, what they don't eat, what they do, what they don't do, and all of that. There is a whole study of this. There is a National Geographic documentary, also a book called The Blue Zones by Buettner. The terms blue zones came from a demographic study. A group of people identified the island of Sardinia in Italy as the region in the world with the highest concentration of men centenarians. And they marked it on the map that they had this region with the blue crayon, literally. They made a circle and started calling the blue zones to everything that was inside the circle. Then Dan Buettner identified more places in the world with a high population of centenarians, and they officially named the blue zones. Among them, an island in Japan called Okinawa, and they had the word ikigai rooted in their culture. And it simply means your reasons for living, or as they will translate it, the reason why you get up in the morning, ikigai. When I came across with this perhaps simple word, it helped me a lot. At the time, motivated me to give priority to certain things, including this podcast. Maybe you're wondering why this guy is talking me about ikigai. The reality is that in essence, ikigai is about understanding who you are and being loyal to yourself in your relationship, work, and any project you are going to create. And to start, you have to know who you are. And part of knowing who you are is knowing your core values. People who know themselves can choose to follow paths that align with their values and abilities. Many times, you appreciate and recognize those values and skills in other people, in communities, and even in organizations and companies. Yes, companies. Companies, because something that helps us a lot in all of this is work. Work is one of the ways in which we discover who we are, because it is through work that we come to understand our different abilities and gifts. Whether we like it or not, work is an important part of our identity. But there's always a but. And be careful with this one. In the words of the author and pastor Timothy Keller, in his book Every Good Endeavor, he says, we cannot have a meaningful life without work, but we cannot say that our work is the meaning of our life. If we make any work the purpose of our life, even if that work is the ministry of the church, we create an idol that put itself in the place of God in our hearts. Nothing else to add to that. That's so clear. If we're going to talk about purpose and meaning, we need to mention Viktor Frankl, Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist who survived the concentration camp during World War II. He wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning, where he narrates from his point of view his time in the concentration camps. He say finding his personal meaning in that experience made him want to live more. Frank believed that all of us can not only survive, but grow if we find our purpose and meaning in life. He dedicated his life to this idea, and thanks to him, we have logotherapy as part of the psychotherapy. His work is based on the fact that the main motivation of human being is to find the meaning of life. And maybe you say, ikigai, work, logotherapy, blah, 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 blah. Dude, give me something practical. Well, here we go. Although the way in which ikigai get to us in this part of the world does not have much to do with the essence of what it is, but it would help a lot if we can understand and get the practical part of it. What I mean by that is that if you go to Google right now and type Ikigai, you'll see what they call Venn diagram. Several overlapping circles where basically it's trying to make us understand that what you do well plus what you love is your passion. What you love plus what the world needs is your mission. What the world needs plus what they will pay you, that's your profession. And finally, for what they will pay you plus what you do well is your vocation. And the result of all of this is your purpose. There are 3 points that I want to take in account. Actually, 3 questions. And as simple as they sound, if you really want to get something out of it, you have to answer it honestly. Here it goes. Do you know what your core values are? The reason for this question is because finding your purpose is about understanding who you are and being loyal to yourself in your relationships, work, and whatever project you create. Knowing who you are is knowing your core values. Second question is, do you have a role at work or within your family or social group that give you that sense of purpose? This question is because our roles give us a sense of identity and defines who we are. Although we do not recognize it, we all want to feel useful, contribute, and have a positive impact on the people around us and in our environment. The third and final question is, do you have at least one intimate relationship? And this last question is because intimacy is that space of closeness that develops over time between two people, either with friends, family, or a partner. Intimacy is vital to our well-being. It allows us to express our true identity. The reality is that when we rethink our responsibility and begin to see them as an opportunity to help others, our life and our jobs have more meaning. Questions like this one, I think, are always good only if we act, because we find our purpose by acting. You cannot find it by thinking. Finding your purpose is discovering what you want, why you want it, and deciding what you are going to do about it. God gave us talents and abilities. That is His gift to us. But what we do with them is our gift to Him. Dare to use them. Our life have more meaning when we serve. Use your own personal transformation to contribute to society. Each of us has a circle of people, whether in a family, in our communities, or in our jobs, that we can help their life. That is the legacy that each of us can leave. And I'm going to finish with this Viktor Frankl quote. He who knows the why of his existence is able to bear almost any how. Well, that was it for today. That was fun to me. Thank you so much for your time. If you like the podcast, please subscribe on any platform that you are listening so you know every time that we release a new episode. If you want to join to this little tribe, you can find me on Instagram as Free Environment. So, till next time, ciao.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.